Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Welcome to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad. Myself, Dr. Vinodal Desai, Associate Professor at PG Department of Computer Science and Technology, SP University, Vallavidhyanagar. In today's session, we will talk regarding HTML table concept. How table is created in HTML and how do we use a table for various purposes, as well as how do we format various contents and the cells of a table in HTML. Apart from that, we will see all the headers in HTML table. Now let's for talking regarding the table concept in an HTML. So what is table? So simply when we have to define a table, we can define it that it's nothing but a collection of rows and columns. Whenever we want to display the content, either numerical or unnumbered data, then we can generally prefer a table to display such kind of content in a web page. So to create a table, HTML provides us a wonderful functionality in the form of table tag. So using the table tag, we can create a table in HTML and display the content in a row and column manner. So an HTML table is made up of table cells that are enclosed within rows and columns. HTML tables are used to organize data into rows and columns. Table cells in HTML contains data, and that cells are very important, as sometimes we need the cells to be highlighted for specifying a particular value through the background color, to the foreground color, or sometimes we need to club such cells. So cells is defined using the TD tag, where TD stands for table data. Everything enclosed between TD tag is considered as the content of the table cells. So whatever data that we want to write in a row column manner in a table, that must be enclosed in a TD tag, and that TD tag specifies that it is a cell which will contain table data. Table cells are used as a container to store data. They can also store all types of data such as text, image, table, list, etc. Rows in a HTML table. So in table, if you want to write or to create a row, we will use TR tag. So TR stands for table row. So using the TR tag, we can generate a row in a table. We can have as many rows as we want, as long as the number of cells in each row is required. Then table headers. So a table header is defined using the TH tag, where TH stands for table header. We can add a table row with the TR tag. We can add a table cell or data using the TD tag. We already discussed. So to create a table in HTML, the simple structure looks like this. We will have a table tag as the primary and first tag to create a table. Within this tag, before we close the table tag, within this we will create number of rows and columns in the form of cell to form and to contain the data. So using the TR tag, we will generate or create a row. Within that row, if we want to fill up the data, we will use a TD tag as our table's data, or we can say cell to contain the data within that. So as you can see in this slide, that we have a table row, and within table row we will have 3 TD tags. So 3 TD tags, that means our table is consisting of 3 columns. Okay. Cell 1, cell 2, cell 3 generally forms a 3 column, 3 data contained in a single row. Then in next row we will have another 3 data, and then after we are closing the table. So TH is used to add headings to a table. So if you want to add a header to a table, we will use TH tag. The table heading will always take the top row, meaning we will have the TH declared in our first table row, followed by the actual data in the table. So it will be the first row which will indicate the headers of the table, and then after from next row that actual data will be contained in a respective cell. caption on the table. So caption is generally served as a, we can say, title of the table. The main use of adding a caption to table is to provide a description about the data represented in the table. The captions can either be placed at the top of the table or the bottom, and by default it will always be centered. To insert a caption into the table, we will use caption tag. Then there are various table attributes used. Among that, the first one is border. The by default HTML table do not have a border. We can set the border using the border attribute. To prevent double borders in the example, we can set the border collapse property of the table. So if you want to have a single border on the table, then you can set this border collapse property so that instead of double border, the table will be displayed using the single border. Okay, using the CSS, that means we have to write this border collapse property in the CSS style tag. Table border collapse is equal to, or we can say, colon collapse. So it will simply allow table to be displayed with a single border instead of double border. We can style the table borders using, we can say, various colors, borders, etc., background colors as well. We can also create a round table, border, dotted table. So before we proceed further to perform such kind of formatting on a table borders, let's have a look practically how do we create border table and other, we can say, kind of table functionalities. Simply to have a look at, we can say, let's first see the table cell. Simply, as we said, that table cell. So simply to create a table, we will use within the table body, we will use a table tag. See here, having a border is equal to 1, that means the table will be displayed with a 1 line border. Then after we have a tr tag, within tr we have one India tag, and within the, we can say, td tag we have another, we can say, okay, let me to remove these things first, that I will discuss after discussing this. Let's have another, we can say, value, that is US. Okay, so within this tag we have used US as a table data or content in the second cell, and then after third tag we have used C. We can create nested table as well within the table, as you can see. Okay, let me to remove this first for your better understanding. Right now we are not concerned with nested table. So simply we want to learn the table concept initially. So right now let's have this one, our simple table concepts. How do we create tables? So we have just simply created a table. A single row is created, and within single row we have a 2 TD table data tag, that is one for India content and second one for US content. And then after we are closing the tr tag and then closing the table tag, and then after we are closing body tag as well as HTML tag. So what we did here, we simply created a table using the table tag, and then after we have created a tr tag, and within tr tag we have created 2 table data, or we can say cells. Now let's run this so that we can understand. We have saved this file. Now let's run table cell so that we can understand the table. So simply here we have a simple table having a 2 cell, that is India and US. But suppose if you want to modify and we want to create another row with another data, then we can simply copy this table row, paste it. We have already pasted 2 times. So we have created another, we can say, row. Let us say XYZ content. In second we can have ABC. In a third row you can update it with, we can say, PQR, and in a fourth set you can have a EFR, something like that. Save it, and now let's refresh the page. So you can now see that we have created another 2 rows. So total our table containing 3 rows, okay, and 2 columns. Moving next to the another, we can say examples. Captions, as we said that caption is used to describe the content of the table. So simply you can see here, this is the captions we have used in a table tag. Okay, caption tag is used which describes student details. Okay, and then after we have closed this caption tag, and then after our TR tag started with the table headers. We already seen that how do we use table headers. So first table header is there with our first name, second table header. So make sure that each table header must be closed when the header content is over. So first name gets over, then we close the first header, then second header we close, and then after age is the third header that we have closed. So every table header starting tag must have an enclosing closing tag, and you must be careful regarding closing these tags. And then after close the TR tag. So our first row TR contains table headers, and then after our second row is having a values for those headers, respective values. So this is what the table with a caption, and then after we will also see the collapse property as just we discussed in the previous example. So right now we have used border collapse property. Now let's understand it by executing this example. Border call, okay, this is a caption example. Now let's run it. So here you can see that caption student detail is displayed as a description of the table at the top of the table, and by default it is centered. It is centered. Okay, and the 3 table headers are used, that is first name, last name, and age. Apart from that, let me to remove this table border collapse property. I am just removing it. Okay, you can see it. I saved it. I have removed this border collapse property. Now I am refreshing this page. Now look the changes that it takes place. As you can see that table is having now double borders. Okay, so default it gives double borders, but if you want this the table should be displayed using this single border, we can use border collapse property like this. Okay, now I have just replace the same content that I previously removed it. So border collapse collapse property is used, that will display the border in a single column. Just to save the file and again refresh the page, and now you can see that the table will be displayed in a single border like this. So this is very important property of table to display it in a single border. Apart from that, in this page we have also used, we can say, a table caption, and then after we have provided various, we can say, styling, CSS styling property to the table headers and table data that will be displayed in terms of borders, and then after padding, as this is indicated, when it is displayed in a double border, then the padding property will be applied. Okay, but right now we have provided a single border using the border collapse property, so the padding effect is not visible to us. But previously when we executed without, we can say, collapse, it was visible to us in a double border. So you can apply such kind of mechanism in a table data. Apart from that, now let's have a table borders example. Okay, now parallelly we will discuss the concept table borders. Okay, so when we can convert the table border in a round table borders using the border radius property. So we can specify the pixel value through which the table borders will be curved through. Let's test it right now. Here what we have done, we have simply said that we have provided a style in the form of table, then table header is there and table data is there. Border is provided and border radius is provided with 10 pixels simply. Okay, and then after we have our table headers for the serial number, name, age and result, and we have provided the values for the respective table headers. As you can see in the examples, we have total, we can say, for 3 values and 1 header, 3 rows and 1 row for the header. So total 4 headers is there, and for 4 headers there we can say we have 4 columns in the form of serial numbers, name, age and result. So let's run it so that we can understand the border effect. Table borders. Okay, you can see that table borders are, we can say, curved, or it is displayed in the round manners. Okay, it is occupying a full width, so let us modify it. So style we will remove from the 100% to 50% so that it will be more visible to us. Refresh the page again. Now you can see the table border is rounded manner. Okay, you can improve it from 10 pixel to 15, 20 as per your requirements. Let's make it 20, save it and refresh it, and you can change the, see here, table border is curved again to the 20 pixels. So this way we can have a, we can say, border radius property of the CSS to be applied on a table headers, table data and table itself. So it will be applied on all the, we can say, part of the HTML document. These all are the, we can say, when we are talking with respect to the style property, style tag of used for CSS, then table, table header and TD will be known as the selectors. So all these selectors will be used for to be for this effect to be applied. Okay, so it will be applied on the specified selectors. Okay, moving next. Then dotted table borders. If you want to have a dotted table borders, then we can have the, we say that properties in the form of borders, background colors, padding, border collapse and border style. So border style is the most important property if you want to display it in a, we can say, dotted manners. So you can have a dotted property to be used. So simply if you want to have, then you can say like this, border style colon dotted. Let's write border style dotted. Okay, we have provided border style dotted. Now let's refresh the page and see the changes. Now the border is displayed in a dotted manners, as you can visualize in the window. So this way the border style can be, we can say, changed in a dotted manners. So there are various styles property available for the borders. That can be a dotted one, that can be a dashed one, solid, double, groove, ridge, inset, outset, none, hidden. There is a possibility that based on the browsers that you are using, some property will be available and some property will not be effective, or we can say it applied, or it will not be visible. So try to check it in an alternate browser. So it may be possible that in one browser it will be visible, in another browser it may not be. So depending on the browsers, the properties will be applied and available too. So these are various border style properties that we can apply on our HTML tables. Then table size. So we can change the size of the entire table, column or row using the HTML style attribute. We can specify different width and height properties of a table, row or column. Table width. So to set the width of an entire table, HTML table, we can apply a style attribute inside the opening tag of the table element. Table style is equal to width colon 100. We have just removed this, applied this property in this example. Okay, I have just changed from 100% to 50% over here. So this is what all about the width of the table that we are discussing. Then after table column width. To set the width of a specific column, we can add the style attribute inside the th and the td element of the opening tag. So if you want to have a width of the column, then either you can use it in the TH table header tag or in a table TD, or that is table data tag. Table row height. To set the height of a specific row, we can add the style attribute inside the TR element opening tag. Okay, let's have a look into that. Okay, column width, say here. Using in a table headers, we have specified width is equal to 30% and another table header width is equal to 50%. So in a first name, the table header will have a 30% width occupied, and in the second header, that is last name, the width we occupied will be 50% and remaining to the age headers. Okay. So this is what the width property of the column that we are applying over here. Let's execute it to understand the table width. This one we will see here. So last name will occupies more width compared to the first name and age. Here see the table is displayed in a double column, double borders. That because we have commented the collapse property. So if you remove these properties, then the table will be displayed using the single borders, as you can see now. You can change the width, suppose from style last name to 50% to 80%. Okay, we have from 50% to 80% for last name we have changed. Now just refresh the page. Now you can see that last name contains 80% of the width and remaining for the first name and age. So this way we can have the width of the column we can set. At the same time we can say that we have a row height. We can set the row height like this. A TR, then after we will specify the style attribute of the TR tag, and the height colon is equal to 100%. Okay, like this. Let's run it to understand. Row height. As you can see that table heading is having a height of 100%. First name, last name and age, while remaining rows is having a normal height. You can change it, okay, as per your requirement. Let's change it from 50% to 50 pixels from 100 pixel and refresh the page. So now it is occupying a 50 pixels height of a row compared to the 100% pixels from the previous one. So this way we can have a row height attributes set to our table content. Alignment we can also set. By default the alignment of our table headers is centered, but we can change the alignment by using the CSS align text align property. You can have a left proper value, property value, right property value, or centered even. If you set the alignment to the left or right, text flows around the table as it does with the table to the right of these paragraphs. Okay, center however does not allow text to flow around it, resulting in a simple centered text. Now table data attributes, we can say to change the background color of a single cell, use the attribute BG color and then have to specify the color value. So that specific color will be displayed in a particular table cell. This property is used to highlight the content of a table. Okay, sometimes it is required that from the overall whole table we want to highlight certain values. So those cells we will use this BG color, we can say property, to highlight those cells by specifying a particular value or color. To add a titled background image to a single cell, use the attribute background is equal to URL inside the TD tag. To set the width of a single cell, use the attribute width is equal to the specified value, where W is either a percentage or of the table's width or fixed number of pixels we can say. The cell however allows the users to define the vertical and horizontal alignment of an item within a cell using align property and v align attributes. Okay, let's have an image concept. As I said that we can have the text content in a table. Apart from that, we can have the image in a table data, table cell. So suppose we have we can say a table with a row having a one cell having a content India, and in the second we can say cell, if you want to have an image, then you can specify the image tag like this. Okay, image tag, then with the width of the image and specify the source of the image using the SRC attributes. So right now suppose if you want to have the Sardar Patel image in a second cell, then we are using this image tag having the width 100 and source is the path of the source from where we are retrieving the image. Right now the Sardar Patel's image is in the same folder from where we are accessing this file. Okay, so it is kept over there, so we are not specifying any absolute path, or we can say any further relative kind of mechanism, because it is directly available kept with the same file. And then after we have another, we can say nested table within the table, you can see here. Okay, this is a table cell TD tag, and within this TD tag we are again creating a table. Within that table again a row is created, and within the row we have a, we can say table. You will understand better this way. Okay, like this, and this whole table is a part of another, we can say cell of the previously created table. Like this you can now understand. Our main table is there. In main table we have one table cell having a content India. Within the second cell we have an image of Sardar Patel, and in another cell we have a nested table in the form of single row and single column. Like this, the content is Gujarat nested table, and then after we are closing that table first, then after we are closing the cell within which the table is contained, and then after we are closing the main table row. Okay, so this way we can have a mechanism of nested table, as well as we can add an image to a table. Let's run it so that you can understand it better. Table cell. Okay, the image is not displayed. Let us see what's the problem. Yes, the Sardar Patel image is a JPG kind of image, not a PNG. So we have to change the extensions from PNG to JPG. Let's refresh the page. Now you can see that our table is containing text data, image data, as well as a nested table. So in a single, we can see in an HTML table you can have any kind of content you want. But the thing is that you need to make sure that which tag to be used and when to close a particular corresponding ending tag of a particular content. In these sessions we have talked regarding the table concept of an HTML, how do we create table, how to create rows, columns, and how to add content in a table cell. Then after we have discussed various attributes of table, apart from that its various properties that we can apply using the CSS, and how table is displayed, how do we highlight the content of a table using the background property, how do we format the borders of a table using the CSS property, etc. Thank you very much.